Are you getting ready for your next event and you want to know what speaker tools you should be thinking about when it comes to your production budget or your AV budget at your next event? Well, I'm going to break down 3 ones that I constantly am telling speakers about and really apply no matter if you're doing a smaller event with breakout rooms or a much larger general session. So consider this your 101 for the 3 speaker tools that you need for your next event. Before we jump into it, I'm Logan Clements. I'm a freelance event producer based out of Seattle, Washington, but I execute events here and all over the world. I do want to remind you to like, subscribe, turn on that little notification bell so you get notified every single Monday when I drop new videos. I'm also the co-host of the Better Events podcast with fellow event pro Mary Davidson. We dive even more into some of these topics that I talk about here on YouTube, so give it a listen wherever you listen to podcasts. And plug, we are hosting our own Better Events Conference December 18th and 19th. The 18th is going to be in person here in Tacoma, Washington, just outside Seattle, and the 19th is going to be 100% virtual. So if you want to learn more and dedicate a whole day to learning about how you can grow in the event industry, please consider buying tickets. I've got the link below. Okay, so for speaker tools for your AV, this is something that I am dealing with no matter if I have an event that's only about 100 people in the room to thousands of people in the room. And again, like I mentioned in the intro, it applies to general sessions as well as breakouts. And the first one is going to be your confidence monitor or your DSM, your downstage monitor. Again, I will link to the video where I explain more about what that is. But basically, it is that you can be able to see your slides and or maybe even see notes. It is like a TV screen that is going to be either set at the end of the stage or sometimes on the floor if you're on an elevated stage. And it does just provide your speakers with confidence, whether that is showing them exactly what's on the screens behind them so that they don't have to turn their head awkwardly the whole time to make sure their slides are advancing. So it mirrors exactly what's on the screen. It can be more sophisticated and have note slides. It can also have teleprompter. The more famous version you'll see, like with our presidential candidates, is a presidential prompter, which are those clear ones that you see. But a confidence monitor is usually the most basic version. And like for breakouts where maybe you don't have as much budget, like you could have that monitor just show your PowerPoint notes. So literally in PowerPoint, writing in the notes section, and it would put your slides behind you and treat that second monitor as like your second screen you have at home. The second one would be a speaker timer. So a speaker timer is really helpful for keeping your speakers on track from a timing perspective. And what it is it just look here, it's a big clock. Again, similar to the DSM and the confidence monitor, it usually sits on top or below or to the side of that monitor facing the speaker so they can see how much time they have left. And this is something that is controllable by your AV team. They can set it for certain times. You could have it set for just the whole day or for an hour or for even something as minute as like 1 minute or 2 minute increments. But it is so helpful for keeping your speaker on track, or if you have a panel with an open-ended Q&A, you can have it just count down for the entire session. This I found is really helpful if you know your group, either time is really important to them and they really, really want to stay on time, or you have speakers who tend to go really long and talk over the amount of time. So having a timer can just help them with that time management a little bit more. And my third and last one is a perfect cue or a clicker. Those are things we use interchangeably as event people. If you're an AV person, you will say, Logan, a perfect cue is very different than just a regular clicker. But in layman's terms, you want to have a perfect cue or a clicker included if your speaker needs to be able to advance their slides without having to actually either click a laptop or verbally say something like next slide. So you could even do something as simple as a Logitech clicker. I bought one as I've done some speaking recently, and it's, I think, $30. It's USB into a laptop. That's really good for a basic setup. And if you're an organization and don't want to rent them, you can actually purchase it and just own it as an organization, which is a fun hack. Perfect Cue's a little bit more complex. It goes off of radio wave frequencies. This is really good for having a clicker in the hand of your speaker while your tech team is hidden in the back of the room. And it usually has like a forward button and a back button and can either be set to actually advance the slides, or it talks to a lovely little like panel that has a green button and a red button that's usually in front of your graphics operator. So when you advance and click the green button as the speaker, that green arrow shows back at the tech table where the graphics operator is, and then they click to advance your slides. So a little bit more sophisticated. That second, having a perfect cue definitely allows you to avoid some mistakes where the speaker maybe got nervous and clicked twice. So that's why usually you're going to see AV companies want to use a perfect cue because it's a more robust setup than something like a Logitech clicker. But it's also a place where you can save some money if you're someone who's looking for a more basic setup. Again, breakouts, I think sometimes a Logitech clicker for a room of 40 is going to do what you need it to do, and you have no need to get a perfect cue unless your team really, really likes it. So those are my 3 tools I want to make sure you think about when you are thinking about your event: confidence monitor, a DSM, speaker timer, and a perfect cue or clicker. Again, if you can't remember that, just say clicker. Making sure those are 3 things that either I have found high-end speakers will just assume are there and or request, and I found they're just really helpful tools even if you're doing a more basic kind of show or simple show setup. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Logan Clements. I'm based in Seattle, Washington. That's all I have for you folks. I'm Logan Clements. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.